Hello, welcome to my quick little, not really quick, tutorial, we'll say, how-to on how to mod your level 10 GT case to add a bit more space up near the top here. This one here is my level 10 GT. Pretty decent case, starting to get kind of old though, so it's showing some signs of wear, but that's beside the point. So, starting off here, we got a radiator here. It's double thick, and I've got two fans on the bottom, but I want to do push-pull. And the only way I'm going to do that is if I mount the fans or the radiator itself a little bit higher up in the case, or if I maybe do something to extend the top. The problem with that is, I'll show you here. If you have motion sickness, you might want to look away now because it might get a little bit weird. There we go. Okay. So, problem with that is there's not a whole lot of space up here. If you have one of these cases and you don't know how to do this yet, there's a little button on the back here. You push that in and sometimes it'll come off, sometimes it won't. If it doesn't come off, just pull it really damn hard. Alright, so anyway, as you can see here, there's not really a whole lot of space even if I take that cover off. And if I did take it off, it would look kind of weird since you'd be able to look straight down into the case, and that wouldn't really be cool because you'd drop stuff in there and that's no good. So, solution, how can we fix that? Well, the way that I'm going to fix it is I'm going to use some wood. Okay, so I got wood, which is great. You're going to take some of this here, and basically what you're going to try to do is build a box to go around the outside of where that top piece, right, usually goes. If you don't have any kind of woodworking skills, or you didn't take like a high school wood shop class, probably not the best time to try. I'm gonna be adjusting my camera here for a moment, so I'll just keep talking. But I'm gonna kind of show you the design concepts here. I'm not going to show any actual cutting on camera because using a table saw with the camera would be kind of ridiculous because of just how loud it is. But I'll give you an idea of how I'm going to be doing this. Here we go, right about there. Okay. So, alright. So, pretty much what you want to do is you want to take your wood and you want to kind of map out, how you're going to do this. Basically, since it's kind of like a box, you're going to need four sides. So what I've done is move my chair out of the way so I don't smash it with this piece of wood. Basically, I took this, and you can see how I've got, maybe you can, maybe you can't, all right, there we go. And you can see where I marked some lines on there. Basically, I put my piece up here that I'm going to be cutting right up against there, and I just took a pen and marked off where I wanted to cut. And then for the other side, actually I'm still going to need this, or for the part where, for the part here, where I was trying to get this lined up, you pretty much are going to put that on there, and you're going to, just kind of trace that out so that you can have a good idea, and you can actually move this down too, because the bottom part has to fit in there also, and you can move it down there and make a outline there. The only thing about this, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult, is the fact that because you're cutting in here, the rest of this is actually going to have to be cut that low as well. So basically when you use your table saw, you want to figure out how deep this is right here. Yeah, that is right there. And you're going to pretty much just cut, that down on the whole length of what you're doing. Because otherwise it would be, this part would be lower, the rest of this part would be higher. That wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't fit in. So once you'd cut it, you'd actually figure this out. Now, a helpful thing that I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use a Dremel tool to cut in at a 90-degree angle there, and then just kind of cut, the angle off right there. And that's pretty much how that's going to work. So, not too complicated, honestly. Pretty easy stuff. Now, another thing you could do if you wanted to keep the entire width of the board you have, this one by the example is a 3/4 inch by 2.5, which is a bit too high. I'm probably going to trim this down. Well, actually, I will trim it down because I'm trimming down this piece off here, but you could actually cut this piece off here. That's going to be the bottom part for the little stick out part on the case. You could actually cut that off, and then you could use some wood glue and a clamp, and you could just glue it up here because it should be the exact same as this one here. Symmetry is great. I love symmetry, basically. Anyway, so I'm going to go do some cutting, and then afterwards I'm going to come back up and I will show you the boards, the pieces of wood I have, and then we'll start working on mounting it and all that kind of stuff. So I will be right back in like 2 seconds. Okay, so welcome back. I've done my cutting. Didn't take too long. So basically this is what it's going to kind of look like once it's fully assembled, except for the fact that I'm going to paint that black with maybe a, looks like a semi-gloss black. So I got some spray paint. I'm just going to spray paint the wood. I haven't actually put it all together. I just kind of assembled it on the top to get an idea of what it's going to look like and if it's going to function, which it clearly will, because you can see here's like a normal 120mm fan. I got plenty of room, just plenty of room to fit that in there. And I could actually, if I made this a little bit wider, I could have put the radiator up top, but I'm not going to bother doing that. I really just want to put the fan in there. And I managed to get it pretty level with the top of this handle here too, so that's also pretty good. So that's, I mean, that's basically all there is to assembling it. The other thing I didn't mention was the fact that there are these 3 tabs here, here, and one here, used to be, that you can just quick Dremel right off and that'll be, you know, no problem. Now as far as holding this on, what I'm going to end up doing is probably using some glue, crazy glue, maybe some other type of goop that'll pretty much hold this on top of the wood part there. The wood part I'm going to secure to the case, maybe with screws. I'm not 100% on how I want to do that yet. I might come up with something more ingenious. I did opt not to cut that other piece up on the top here because it turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I anticipated that it would be. So what I ended up doing was just saying, well, I can accept, you know, that kind of a gap, and if I wanted to at some point I could just put either black tape over it or some other kind of filler and you know, do that a lot easier that way. So that's the way I'm looking at doing that, but it does fit on there, you know, pretty snugly. So that was pretty quick and easy, just using a Dremel tool to Dremel out. Gotta have a fairly large diameter cutting wheel, and it kind of burns through the wood after a while, but you might get some burn marks, but you're not gonna see it anyway once you spray paint it. But yeah, as far as gluing the wood together, it's gonna require some time. Probably some wood glue wouldn't be a bad idea for that. I mean, it's not gonna be such a, if it's not gonna be something you're gonna be banging around a lot, you could just use maybe like crazy glue or liquid nail, something like that. But you also definitely want to, what I haven't done quite yet, is I haven't gone through the trouble of sanding this down yet. So I need to, because it's kind of, you can see it's kind of not exactly perfectly flush. So it doesn't, you know, line up exactly, you know, even with that. So it's a little bit wobbly. So what I'm going to do, yeah, see, it's a little bit better, easier to see there. What I'm going to end up doing is just taking some sanding paper, or actually just use my power sander most likely, and just kind of, you know, grinding that down real quick, making it nice and smooth, and that way these will, you know, joint up nice and flush, and that'll be a lot better. This one's actually pretty bad too, but that's just kind of the in and outs of using a table saw. Sometimes you don't always get what you want, but that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and cut this and start the painting and gluing part of it. Once I'm all done, I'll put up the final video of how this is all going, or how this all works, and should be pretty good. Alright, so this is the final little video here that I'm going to be, before I edit everything together, but pretty much this is what the finished product looks like. It's not too bad at all. You can tell, I mean, you can kind of see it in this camera. I mean, the camera's really accentuating it. Like, you can see where the wood grain is kind of shown up there. A little bit more paint and sanding would probably just smooth that right out. But I'm kind of fine with it how it is. You know, wouldn't really be able to tell by looking at it that it's not normally part of the case in person. And you can see that I haven't actually finished gluing I haven't glued the top on, so it's fine. But see there, got 2 nice little fans in there right on top. So I'm actually doing a push-pull, which is kind of nice. Big fan of that, and it looks good. So that will pretty much wrap up the video. Thanks for watching. I'll be looking to do maybe some more case modding stuff. I'm looking to get in the Core B71 from ThermalTake. So we'll see if I can do some kind of cool modding with that. But until then, thanks for watching, and like, subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of thing.